Back to where Yellows walk. It's 20 minutes of Oxford reviews and news. And this week we are looking back at that Portsmouth game. Jacob, along with others, says that was the worst that Oxford have played this season. And we still got a point, so nothing too much to worry about. Or is there? That's what we're asking our Oxford fans. And we'll roll the titles. And you can join us on the other side of our music. Let's kick it off then. Robin, was that the worst that you've seen Oxford play this season?
This season, yes, definitely. But still came away with a point. I think we've seen it time and time again in League One. We play better against better teams. And it seems when we played the lower of the table teams, we seem to stoop to their level and play a bit of head tennis, and it turns scrappy. So I think Pompey are looking very much a League One team this season, and we stooped to that level for that game.
Luke, do you agree with that? I mean, it's always 1-1 this game, so I don't know why I didn't put money on it.
Yeah, I think Robin's right. We just let Portsmouth set the tempo of the game, really. And I think if we look back over the main chances in the game, Portsmouth definitely had the upper hand. I mean, Jamie Cumming made, obviously, the penalty save, a good double save. We've had 2 hooks off the line as well. So, yeah, like I said, I think we did stoop down a level, and we just let Portsmouth take control of it, really.
Okay. Sam, what were the positives from that game, if there were any? Lost him. Gone. Connor, what were the positives from that game, if there were any?
I thought one of the good positives was Kyoso. I thought that he had, apart from the goal, I thought he had a number on Murphy, so that was quite glad to see. And the fact that we only kept it down to 1. So there were some other chances that Portsmouth had. So other than that, it was our worst performance of the season. But as Robin said, still came away with a point. That's what we wanted.
Okay. Coming up this week, then, we're going to look at some of the social media takes from that Oxford game. We're also going to be asking about the atmosphere at the Kassam and comparing that to how it's been like previously. And what's the earliest you've ever left an Oxford United game? And we'll see what this lot think. This is in response, of course, to Sunderland fans, most of them missing Mellier's absolute howler in their Leeds game, as they all had previously left the stadium. Right, let's have a look then at some of the takes. Robin, Nathan says, "My word, we do miss Moore and Brannigan, but at least we didn't do an Oxford and lose to the team with no wins." Is he right there, Robin?
Yeah, we definitely miss Moore and Brannigan. They're huge players on the pitch, but they're also huge characters. But we are still grinding out points and no losses in the last 3 games as well. Even at 2 ex-Prem teams, which is impressive to still get the points. So we do miss them. It's clear to see, but I think we're doing things well to overcome it.
Okay. Absolutely, they are definitely good characters. I think you've already touched on this one, Luke, already, but Jamie Cumming was a saviour today. Top performance. Also another solid display from PK, who's getting better every game at the moment. Not the best of games, but a point is a point. On that PK point, is that something you're seeing that game by game is improving?
Absolutely. I think at the start of the season, we all thought he would be the starting right back, but he had to be patient, buy his time, sit behind Sam Long. But when he got the chance, he put in a solid performance. And like I say, every game since then, he's just looked a little bit more comfortable. And I think on the weekend, all eyes were on Murphy from an Oxford fan point. We knew all the danger was going to come from Murphy. So for Kyoso to keep him relatively quiet all game until he got the assist, but I think that maybe come from the tired legs of Edwards not being able to sort of help him out so much just before he got subbed off. But yeah, really impressed with PK, and we've obviously got Tura Vest, who's going to have to do one hell of a job to get into that side now.
Okay. This is the first week I couldn't find any Will Volks tweets, Sam. Usually there's a couple, but we were all clear this week, so that must mean, I mean, I didn't see all of the game, I will be honest. I was flicking between other games, but did he have a good game?
I think it very much depends kind of in what aspect you're talking about. I think Will Volks was in a similar position to Idris El Mazouni. The fact that in the middle and attacking thirds, he was great. His dispossession of Pompey players to then move the ball forward was really good. Obviously, the thing that most of the time lets Will Vaulks down is his set piece deliveries. We as a football club, for some reason, have never set that as a priority. His set pieces are kind of no better than anybody else's, and they're sometimes are even worse. But overall, it was one of his. I'm not saying one of his better performances, because obviously he was superb against Norwich. He was great against Coventry until the misplaced back parts. But it was good to kind of get a pretty decent performance back under his belt, get his confidence back up before a really tough run of fixtures.
Connor, the international break is now upon us. Is this a good time for the break to come for Oxford? There's some players that just need a rest, Harris perhaps included, or does it disrupt your momentum, do you believe?
No, I think this is a very good time. Got a few lads that are injured that would just need back, like Moore and Brannigan. Gives them their good 2-week break, and also gives, as you say, a bit of rest time for some players as well.
Okay, all right. We are now at that 10-game stage, which on the next video I want to ask you about your new predictions for Oxford, because I think we're allowed to renew them at this point, and we might even play you back your previous ones. But I want to ask you about home atmospheres, if that's okay, because we're talking to Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday, sorry, the two Sheffield clubs, Sunderland, are all saying it's feeling a bit flat this season. The Championship really hasn't got going in terms of atmosphere at some of the bigger grounds. I think I don't need to ask you this, what the atmosphere is like at the Kassam, because I can hear it when I watch your home games. But Luke, in comparison to what your expectations were, how's the atmosphere been?
I think it's been really good, to be honest. I guess the start of it would have been that home Peterborough game in the playoff semi-final. We sort of, although as football fans we hope we're gonna sort of do well in these games, you go in with a little bit of we just give it our best and see what happens. And in the Championship this season, there's definitely that togetherness with the fan base and the players. It's just we feel like everyone's underestimating us, and people don't think we can compete at this level. So when we all chip in together, the fans are on side, the players are on side, the manager is just lapping up everything at the minute as well. I think the home performances have shown that, with the crowd, that's where we're getting most of our points from. And yeah, I think the atmosphere is a big part to play in that.
But Connor, in terms of the away fans, I mean, it's obvious. We hope there's a big improvement from League One, where you get 400 turning up, and you've got 2,000 Burnley fans or 1,000 Preston fans turning up. Has that had an impact, do you think, on the atmosphere in the ground as well?
What do you mean, away or home?
At home, yeah.
Maybe. I don't really see it that way. I think that because what we had in the past few seasons before last season, it was flat and it was dire, and I could get about 3,000 or 4,000 back in League Two, and then maybe 5,000 on a rainy February in League One. And I think just that excitement football has been drawing loads of fans back, and also reintroducing fan display. So shout out to like the Yellow Division, who've got getting us fans all chipping in together to put on some terrific displays that you see.
Okay. All right, good stuff. What's the earliest you've ever left an Oxford United game? Was our final thing we're looking at this week. Think back then. So a Sunderland fan left a game at 26 minutes a couple of seasons ago. Not sure if you could beat that. But thinking back, what's the earliest you've walked out, Robin, of a Yellows game? Were you one of these that stays to the bitter end?
Usually, yes. I can't actually remember who it was, but it was an away game. My dad came and picked me up from football training. It was raining. We were losing 3-0 at half time. And by the time the half-time whistle blew, we just jumped straight out and in the car to get home, because it was also a school night.
Oh, fair enough. What about you, Sam?
I'm usually one that will stay right till the end, regardless of the result. There's been a couple of times I've thought about leaving early, like the Carl Robinson's last game against Bristol Rovers. We lost 3-0. It was an awful, awful game. As soon as they scored the penalty, I did think, just go home now, because it's not going to get any better. But yeah, I can't think of any time I've left like before the full-time whistle.
Okay. Luke?
I'm a similar one to Sam, really. I like to stick it out and sit through the torture, if I'm being honest. With a group of people, I'm normally the one that's making everyone stay behind and watch. So I'd say probably the only times I really leave early is if I'm not driving and they're saying I have to go with them.
Fair enough.
Maybe
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
10 minutes
All
or so, but nothing
Okay.
really. Mate.
All right. You're all very loyal fans. Connor, can you help here? Oh, we seem to have lost you. Are you back? We've got a problem with your line there, Connor. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, I generally stay until the very, very end, whatever result. But I think the earliest I've ever left was probably around 80th minute, Ipswich away, back on Boxing Day a few years ago. Then the third went in. I went with Luke, and it was Boxing Day. So like, now I want to be the traffic. This is awful. Going home.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good stuff. All right, thanks very much then. Have a good international break, of course, when we see you on the other side. We're talking the Baggies as it's West Brom that we take on next. We'll preview that game next week, so do join us for that. But thank you very much for joining us. Drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. Say it's 20 minutes of Oxford chat every single week. What more could go wrong? Cheers, fellas. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great week, everyone.